Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the market close. And of course, this is exciting. It is Nvidia's earnings day. So we're going to see where things are all going to end up. Are they going up? Are they going down? Well, we'll find out. We'll find out in about 15 minutes. Well, probably a little longer. It takes a while for results to start filtering in, but this is exciting. This is exciting. It's always exciting. Well, we had a green day on the market. Uh, yesterday was a lot more choppy than today, but today we did have a green day. I'm liking it. It's fantastic. So yeah, let's jump in immediately. Let's take a look at the market. Let's see what's going on. And here we go. Here is our so the TSX right now, it's up 0.65%. Nice and in the green. On the month, though, we're still slightly in the red on the month. So those of you most of you know what this blue line means, but this blue line is where we left, well, in October. So if we're above this line, oh, nice. If we're below this line, it's the nightmare before Christmas, folks. Maybe that's what we'll call it. But right now we are a little bit below. So we are looking at we're looking at a red November, and I've been anticipating that we will finish this month below the red bar. A lot of the reason, tax loss harvesting is going to put a lot of pressure on the downside. So we should be on the bottom. But guys, if I know one thing about predictions in 2025, they're not very good. So anything can happen. Anything can happen. So yeah, let's take a look. On to the US. So slipping down below. And speaking of slipping below, the United States, oh boy, look at their market. It is really, really not doing well this month. They're well beneath they're well beneath that blue line. Now they are having a green day. Fantastic. They're up 0.37%, but the month is not looking that good on the S&P 500. Looking at the NASDAQ, exact same story, well below the blue line, having a pretty red November so far. And today will be a turning point for tech, because it's terrible that it's come down to this, but everything is relying on what happens this afternoon with Nvidia. If Nvidia has a great earnings call, we could see these guys. We could see the NASDAQ moving much closer to that blue line. But oh boy, if we have a bad call, if everything tanks after Nvidia's earnings, it's going to carry this down a little bit with it. We'll see a drop here. I would like to not see a drop. I'd like to see some movement. I'd like to see Nvidia do a little bit better. I also have a story, guys, later, and it's in the title. Over on BNN, there was a story, and I thought we would look at it together. It's 9 reasons why we're not in an AI or a tech bubble. So we'll take a look at that after the bell, but that's going to be cool. That's going to be cool. And just to show you, here's the actual story right here. So 9 reasons we're not in an AI bubble yet. So that's from John, Ehrlichman. So we're going to look at his article here a little bit later. All right. Getting us back to the charts. The Dow Jones, also same boat, well below the blue line. They're having a flat day. Technically, they're in the green, but really not. They're at 0.00%. So now they just moved into the red. So yeah, Dow Jones not having a good day. Same thing for the Russell. The Russell, once again, pretty flat, 0.02% on the day. Gold's up a little bit, up 0.15. So gold's doing good. Silver up 0.86. Copper having a pretty good day, up a full 1.05%. WTI is down 1.82%. So oil not having the best day. And oh boy, crypto not having This is just not crypto's week. Well, this is not crypto's month, to be honest. Bitcoin broke below that key support of 90,000. So it's currently sitting at 100, currently sitting at 89,178. It's a little concerning. It's a little concerning. We'll look at that a little bit later as well. Ethereum in that same boat. Switching to our heat maps, and let me get this thing here out of the way. We have, and oops, you know what? For the heat map, I think I should be over here to get me a little more out of the way. There we go. Yeah, looking at it, we got a good amount of red, as you can see. We got a little bit of red in the banks. So CIBC is down, Scotiabank is down. Yeah. Fairfax Financial also down. So we're getting a little bit there. Royal Bank is down a little bit. TD's down a little bit. I don't know if anybody is up other than Manulife Financial. Manulife, they're doing fine today. They're up a full 1.26%. Most of our industrial services are up. So a lot of your utilities are up. Enbridge doing good, up 0.99. Pamina Pipeline up as well, 0.18. So yeah, we got a little bit. I guess probably the big standout I'm looking at today is Celestica up 5.56. They've been on a tear. The last month, Celestica has been on a tear. All right, going south of the border. And this is where some of our stories are going to be. Tech not doing that bad. Look at this. You got Google up a full 3%. Nvidia up 2.80. But the real story on Nvidia, well, that's going to take place here in, well, it's going to start taking place in about 8 minutes. So once the market closes, Broadcom is up, Oracle's up, and we do have some down. Microsoft, Meta, AMD, Netflix, Palantir, Walmart, all down. Tesla, believe it or not, Tesla's up 0.45%. So we got a little bit of goodness happening there. Eli Lilly also looking good today, up 1.91. Heading over to crypto. As you can see, it is a very, very red day. Bitcoin, Ethereum, look at this, 6.36 on Ethereum down. XRP down a full 8.24. Solana's down. Everybody's down. Dogecoin, Cardano. Now, this is that part of the show where I like to just pick some random altcoin that is doing the exact opposite of the market. A coin I've never heard of before. And let's see here. All right, we'll click on this one here. Remember KitKat? What? This is a weird name for a coin. It's also brand new. It looks to me like, because we don't seem to have any history behind here, but I don't know what this does. Is it somebody making a coin to commemorate when they used to share a Kit Kat bar as a kid? I don't know. So yeah, I have no idea what this does. I would not touch it with a 10-foot pole. Sure, it's up 15.99%. But yeah, what kind of liquidity is there? We don't know. I call these things crap coins because, not because they stink. Some of them do though. Because it's like going to the craps and you know, throwing your dice and hoping you win, and you usually don't. And that's kind of what happens with a lot of these coins. So if you're interested in something like Remember KitKat, do your due diligence. Read the white paper. Make sure it actually does something. I can't see that from here. I don't know what it does. Like I said, I won't touch it. I don't mind making money from crypto, but I'll make money from the tried and true coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, heck, even the Dogecoin. All right, we're going to get back here. And now I'm going to get us over here to Nvidia. Here we go. So this is our Nvidia chart. And you know what? I'm just going to make it a little bigger. I'm going to make it a little bigger here. All right, let's make it bigger, and there we go. This way here, it'll be a little bit easier as we watch to see what happens to Nvidia. as we move. So guys, we got about 5 minutes to the bell. That means, let's get to you guys. Let's hit up the chat. Right out of the gate, we got Paul coming in with a good afternoon. Cece, sorry, I gotta ask, what is your forecast on Bitcoin now? We'll revisit that. We'll revisit that after the bell. We'll pull up that chart. I didn't, like I said, I really didn't want to see it break below 90. I had a little bit of hope. I had a little bit of hope because with the big drop in Bitcoin over the weekend, I thought when the retail investors, especially those in the spot Bitcoin ETFs and everything else, I thought Monday we might see an even bigger drop. We didn't actually see that. It seemed to stabilize a little bit. We got a little bit of consolidation. It looked like it was starting to move back up, but no. Maybe it was a little delayed, and that could make sense. That could make sense. So we'll take a hard look at Bitcoin a little bit later for sure. Claude is in the house with a hello. Amrit says, I checked NVHE and wow, what a drop it had from. Well, yeah, I mean, we're looking at Nvidia here, and you can sort of see right here, like, you know, this is where we're at now, but just look at this. We're coming back here. All the way up here, Nvidia was sitting up here around 212, and right now it's at 186. So yeah, Nvidia has had, they've had a bit of a drop. They have, yeah, they've definitely had a big drop. Now that means, though, if they do half decent with these, with today's earnings, maybe we can get a little bit of recovery. We got about 3 minutes to go. 3 minutes to go for the bell. All right, and Kenneth, what about Bitcoin? It has been falling hard. It sure has. It sure has. And like I said, we're gonna look a little harder at Bitcoin after the bell. And let's see, Amrit. Okay, you're just finishing what you had started here. So yeah, from 1473 to 1308, I had not checked earnings, but it seems like it did not go well. The short that was done by Michael Burry did not help. Michael Burry. Like I said, I take everything Michael Burry says with a grain of salt, but the earnings have not been released yet. So you can't say they're not going well. We're going to find out. We're going to find out together here today how those earnings have gone or how they're going to go. Bill, Bitcoin isn't falling. 0 minus 25% is still 0. Bill, obviously, Bill is not a huge fan of the Bitcoin. So yeah, that math is correct. Minus 25% of 0 is 0. Yes, 100% accurate. Let's see. Sell QQQ fast before the market fall, says Kenneth. Well, let's see what's going to happen. Let's see what's going to happen. I'm not going to jump to any conclusions. Now, I will tell you, I'm not optimistic. I'm not as optimistic as I'd like to be about this earnings call, but I really, really hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. And I hope that my lack of optimism, I hope it's misplaced. That's what I'm going to say. Jim says, what? One day my portfolio was flashing red and green all day. Or what, a day? Yeah, absolutely. Tom is saying, come on, 1750 Air Canada. Yeah, you know what? I'm happy with Air Canada right now. As long as I just stay under 19, let me continue to stack. I think that's gonna turn around. Air Canada will turn around, and when it does, oh boy. Amrit, tax harvesting or what? Air Canada was doing well, but $1 drop for them. What's going on? $1 drop for Air Canada is not abnormal. Air Canada has a good amount of volatility on them. One of the reasons I like swing trading them. So yeah, I'm not worried about Air Canada at all. Paul says, usually a bubble is everyone thinking it can only go up. Well, yeah, that's part of the mania that you will get in a bubble for sure. And guys, we're 5 seconds away. All right, 3, 2, 1, here we go. The market. The market's closed. Nice. Now, just so you guys know, there is a slight delay between when you see this in YouTube, so it might actually look like 15, 20 seconds late, but it was on time. It was on time. All right, now we're going to look at the Nvidia game, and it's gonna something's gonna happen, and I will tell you right now, our initial movement. Whoa, that's not the right part. This is here, and for this part, guys, I think I need to move myself. I need to be over here, I think. There we go. Just that way there, I'm not blocking anything. So far right now, so Nvidia closed at 186.78. In post right now, we're sitting at 186.89. So we've got a little bit of movement to the upside, but no data's come out yet. Anything that's happening right now, pure speculation. So we'll be checking back in with Nvidia as we move along. All right. Larry says solar-powered satellites that run all computing and processing. I'm not sure if it means anything. Tesla partnership gives the ability to make chips 20 times smaller since won't need cooling 5 years away. Yeah. No, there's a whole bunch. Like also today as well, it came out that Nvidia is doing something. I didn't actually read the article. I didn't have a chance. But Nvidia is doing a little partnership with Brookfield. So it could be interesting. It could be interesting for sure. So another thing to pay attention to for, let's see here. Rory says afternoon, Bitcoin 89,100. And Larry says hit DJCO twice this week, 385 to 401 and 402. Nice, getting yourself set up for some pretty good swings. That's what Larry does. Larry is he runs a small I don't want to call it a hedge fund. It's more of an investment company, and he does really well. Lord Fubar says hi, Candace. Let's see. Jim says watch her pick the rug pull coin. Absolutely, that's it. Let's see. Mary is in the house with a hello all. And Mary, guys, Mary is our official captain of the like button. So if you have not yet hit that like button, now's the time. It's time. Just hit it, click it blue. I'll have some coffee while you guys are busy doing that. Oh, that's so good. So good. All right, we got Lord Fubar's Monopoly Man being choked. I don't know what that is. Jim says, hi, Mary. Hit like when I logged in. Nice. Rory says, I hear Rug Pull Corp is laying off their new CEO, restructuring their offices. Maybe. Maybe. Cowboy's in the house with a greetings all. Hello, Cowboy. Good to see you. Silver and gold coin. Nice. Nvidia will shake out before going back up. Or back up. We're going to say back up. Yep. Let's see. Am I late? I'm on Cuban time. What time is Cuban time? Is Cuban on Eastern, or are they far enough out that they're on Atlantic? I'm not sure what time Cuba's on. So kind of cool. Oh, well, here, Bismarcky, tell me right now, what time is it where you are? Because if it's Atlantic time, then you're at like 4:55, where we're at 3:55 here, and everybody else is probably at different times too. All right, let's see here. Collad with a QQQ. Can you explain a bit the after hours they have in the USA, please? I don't know at all how it works. Okay. So what they have is they have this thing called after hours trading in the US. So they have hours, actually they have after and pre-market trading. Now, it's not done by all of the retail people. It's mostly done by the institutional investors, although I believe there are some brokers that are giving that access to, to retail. And actually here with Wealthsimple, you can get involved in that. Now, sometimes there's fees to do it. I know with National Bank, I can do it if I want to, but I do believe I have to pay a fee, and I have to do it by, I believe I also have to do it by phone. But yeah, it's just basically we get, I don't know the exact amount of time. It's either 2 to 3 hours. I think it's closer to 2. Somebody correct me, please. And that's after the market and pre-market. So you get the pre-market, you get the aftermarket, and it sometimes will give us an idea of where things are going. Now, because Nvidia, so today they released their earnings at the market close. So that allows the institutional investors basically in the aftermarket and tomorrow morning in the pre-market, they can make moves based on this information before everybody else gets to. So yeah, and it sometimes can be a good indication. So for example, right now, if Nvidia is going good, so let's say Nvidia does really well today, well, we'll see this price come up, even though everything will look the same. And tomorrow morning, when you look at the next chart, what you would see is you would see a gap. So you'd see the tickers of the next candle starting up here if that were the case. Or if they do really bad, you could see a red candle starting down here and you'll see the gap. So you'll see that gap. That gap, most times you see a gap like that, it's because of things that are happening in the off market, like in the after hour trading. So yeah, so it's pretty basic, pretty basic. All right, let's see here. Larry says, Nvidia, Tesla, Saudi, new AI company will be taking over the state name Humane set to IPO in 2 to 3 years. Interesting. That'll be something to watch for sure. That'll definitely be something to watch. And guys, keep in mind. Oh, I was explaining something and I was showing a couple things over here, but yeah, anyway. One of the things I want you guys to keep in mind too, we are going to talk a little bit about the whole bubble. We're going to talk a little bit about the bubble because we do have, over there on BNM, we do have the 9 reasons why we're not in an AI bubble yet. And you know what? Let's not do it all at once. Let's just take a look at our first reason. I'm curious here. All right. We'll go right here. So first, number 1, prices are rising because profits are rising. That is 100% true. One of the things that I've noticed is that when you compare the bubble, the supposed AI bubble, when you compare it to the .com bubble, one of the things were the evaluations and the profits and things that were happening then were completely out of whack compared to today. At least today, even though a lot of the prices, a lot of the evaluations have been going up, so they're actually back. It's actually backed up. I like it. And it mentions down here, so let's see, there is a difference between speculation and real earnings growth, and the big companies at the center of the AI boom have so far been displaying profit power. True. Now, one of the things I've also been talking about is a lot of these smaller companies, and this is kind of one of the things I sort of look at. It's like we have, if you want to call it a bubble, let's call it a stable bubble at the center with all of the big AI companies, and they're doing well. There's no danger of that one breaking. But suppose all of these other little companies that are just jumping on the AI train, throwing AI in there, getting crazy valuations, those dangerous, and those little side bubbles, those are probably going to pop. Those will definitely pop along the way, and some of those companies, they're not going to survive. They won't survive. So be careful. Stick to the big companies. Stick to the big companies for sure. Rory says Simpson-style gasp and awes when Nvidia comes out with earnings. I know. Cowboy, HBTE is the only Bitcoin I have. Down 30%. Only bought it in October. Don't impress me much. No, absolutely. Especially if you bought it at the high. Currently with HBTE, and I have to look this up because I do have it in the challenge. And I will be adding more to it as it falls. Currently, right now, it's sitting with a total return of 48.16%. Oh, it just updated 47.16%. Now, mind you, I got an adjusted cost base on it at $13.11. So that I got in pretty low. All right, let's bring that back. Hugumelio says, I had in QQQ, sold it and bought VBAL 6040. Okay, all right, interesting. Let's see, the night bot is in there. So yeah, if you guys want to market close on a Friday, all we need is either 4 supers or 4 gifted subs or some combination of them, and yeah, we'll do it. We'll absolutely do it. Paul says the Nvidia bars look more dramatic at 1 minute. They probably, yeah. If we're looking at it at 1 minute, we're kind of looking at the 1 hour. But speaking of Nvidia, let's just jump over there for a second, see if we got any movement. Not yet. Look at this. Right now, we're still sitting really, really close. The post is at 186.99, so we're not up much. We're not up much at this point. All right. I want to jump to these. I want to get through these reasons. Let's look at the. We're going to look at the number 2 reason. So rock solid balance sheets in Silicon Valley. That's true. That is true. And it says here, yeah, the report also points out the unusually strong financial health for big tech companies, not to mention a low leverage cash, as they say, is king. That's the thing. Their balance sheets are good. They also all have pretty good moats too. So this is kind of different. Back with the .com bubble once again, companies were being propped up unrealistically, and that's kind of what the measurement that we need to sort of look at against today. Are companies like Nvidia being measured? Are they being measured unrealistically? That's a good question. They so far they've had the cash, they've had the means. So it's interesting. I think that's an interesting point here. All right, Doorpat is saying hello all. Larry says I run a scam, deciding on where to flee. I don't know. Where can you flee now? Like where there isn't any kind of extradition? Maybe Cuba. Well, because yeah, if you're American, so if you fled to Cuba, I don't think they can get you back. Doorpat down 60% on MSTE. Oh God, yeah. It's actually interesting. Gary Gill. So I think you guys all know who he is. He had that big video that came out where he was down $100,000 on strategy on what was it, MSTE, and that video exploded. It almost made me wish I was down 100,000 on something. So, but yeah, no, he got a lot of eyeballs on him for that. And I did watch his explainer video yesterday. So one of the things that Gary said, and we can all watch. We'll figure this out. But he said that that was his basically his channel fund. So he must be doing well to have a $100,000 channel fund to play with. But nonetheless, he did say that now that it's down, he can now show you how to bounce back from that. So that'll be something worth watching for sure. It'll be interesting to see what strategy he comes up with, and I want to watch and see what he has to say. I kind of got an idea of the strategy I might use, but it'll be interesting to see. Bismarcky says 404. Oh, well, yeah, we're in the same time zone. We're in the same time zone. Yep, there we go. Paul says Tesla had a 1330 spread between the day's low and high, or 3.3%. Yeah, there was a little bit of a bump down earlier for sure. A cowboy, I know my morning start doesn't match the end of my day numbers. And you're describing a screen we cannot see. Yes, I know. I know, absolutely. All right, before I get to Amrit, let's take a look and see what their number 3 here is. Let's see, self-funding massive AI capex with cash flow. So let's see, speaking of cash, Goldman makes a point of addressing capital expenditures and the fact that most of tech's big bets are being paid for using free cash flow, not debt. This is a really good point. Yeah, if you are running debt up to the yin-yang, that's not good. And that's one of the things that did happen in the dot-com bubble. A lot of companies were getting so over-leveraged, so much debt. These guys, today, they're using their free cash flow. So we're not looking at a situation where they're just absolutely stacking on the debt. That, to me, that might be the best point so far. All right, and number 4, Let's see, valuations are high, but still below .com extremes for now. Okay, absolutely. Let's see here, and let's see what he says. He says, this one is perhaps where the debate is getting loudest. While Magnificent Seven stocks are certainly looking pricey, Goldman's analysis suggests we're not where we were during the dot-com boom. And that's kind of what I've been saying. That is absolutely where I have been saying. And apparently, the Blackstone president, John Gray, made a similar point in a recent video published on their website. So, okay. So yeah, we got some pretty high valuations, but right now they're not unrealistic. Like and that's important. That is absolutely important. Okay, let's move to number 5. Investors aren't demanding impossible growth rates yet. Well, not all of them, but when Nvidia, sometimes I think Nvidia investors do demand. So I kind of disagree with this at least on Nvidia. I think the Nvidia, because I've seen Nvidia, Nvidia. I've seen Nvidia drop because they didn't exceed as much as the investors wanted them to exceed, even though they exceeded. I'm just like, okay, and that's kind of what they're talking about there. Okay, number 6, big profits on every dollar invested. So let's see, what did he say here? Earlier, we highlighted the power of profits. But beyond that, when you looked at return on equity, I love ROE, Goldman suggests record readings may help to justify some of the premiums being paid to invest in these companies. Yeah, a lot of them have pretty good return on equity. So ROEs are looking good on a lot of them as well. Number 7, we're almost through here. Profitable incumbents are dominating, not speculative startups. That's kind of an interesting point too, because if you guys remember with the dot-com bubble, one of the things I've been talking about is you had so many companies that were coming in and throwing .com in there, just and propping themselves up and getting investors to pile money into them, even though they had nothing of value to offer. We're not quite seeing it. We're not seeing it to that level with this AI thing. There are some companies that, they throw AI in their name, and they're getting extra money in there. But for the most part, we're not seeing it to the extent that we had with the dot-com bubble, for sure. All right, we got 2 left. Number 8, no freeze of money-losing companies flooding the market, or no frenzy of money-losing companies flooding the market yet. That's true. That is true. We haven't really seen a lot of those little bubble pops that I kind of warned us that we have a chance of seeing. So let's see. Perhaps building off the last point, Goldman says this would be a classic bubble, and for the most part, so far for the most part, it's missing. So yeah, absolutely. And finally, market concentration has been extreme before without crashing. Yeah, absolutely. We have seen this type of concentration in the market without a bubble burst. So yeah, there is precedent. There is precedent for sure. And what he says on that is, much has been said about the fact that only a few companies have come to dominate the S&P 500, but Goldman makes a point of highlighting other periods of high concentration that did not end in bubbles. All right, that's not a bad article. Not a bad article. All right, let's jump back over here for a moment. And let's hit up Amrit. Apparently delayed USA job report added more uncertainty, and lots of after-hour sell-off of Bitcoin caused the price to climb down. So maybe it's just people are cashing in and a bit scared. Yeah, I heard that job report in the US. Now, I don't know if this is true because, guys, I heard it from a source I don't think is reliable. Meet Kevin. That's where I heard it. I heard something along the lines that Trump was suspending it or not letting the report come out at all. But I don't know if that's true. So I'll have to look into that. Cowboy, wasn't John Richmond a Nixon stooge during water? I don't know. I have no clue about that, Cowboy. I can't say yes or I can't say no because this is the first I've ever heard of that. I've never heard. I don't know. Honestly, I really wasn't following politics then. I don't think I was alive, but that's. Larry says, I expect BTC 80 to 85K drop. We are picking up DOJE Dogecoin ETF dipped my beak today, but plan on buying more on the drop. So yeah, this is a good point. 80 to 85, and that's kind of, we were talking a little bit about what would happen if it broke below that 100K support and where that next support would be. That's about right. That's about right. So yeah, and we'll look at this in a little bit. We'll look at this here more in a little bit. Before we go any further though, I do want to peek in on Nvidia. Oh, we got some movement. We got some Nvidia movement. Look at this right now, up at 190.42. Sorry, 190.104. So we're seeing some movement to the upside. Oh, it's currently moving. Look at this, 191.35, 191.61. This reminds me of that Price is Right game with that little hiker going up the hill when they played that yodeling thing in the background. But yeah, 192.84, 192.80, 193.63. This is interesting. Right now, we are getting we're getting positive movement. Now, we don't have numbers yet. So we don't know if they are, what they're reacting to at this point in time. 194.57. Nope, now it's coming back down. It's coming back down a tiny bit. 193.91. Well, we're going to keep our eyes on this. This is exciting. I think I need some coffee here. All right, and let's keep talking as we have this going on in the background. So guys, if you have a small screen or you're on your phone, this little blue here, this is the after hours price, and then down below the green, that's where they closed. So that blue move, the little blue, as it moves higher or lower, that shows where the price is moving currently in the after hours. All right, Cece, would you be sure a shoe company was selling shoes if all the shoe companies kept giving each other money? Okay, and this here goes to, there was Hank Green. I don't know if you guys know who Hank Green is. He did this big thing where he showed all of the, basically all of the big tech companies. So you had Nvidia in the middle, you had OpenAI, Microsoft, AMD, and a few others in there. And it was sort of showing the interrelationship and how, Nvidia was giving somebody money in exchange that they had to buy their chips. And so, yeah, there's a whole bunch of that going on. And, and yeah, I can understand how that looks a little worrying. But one thing I will say is that it's not abnormal. That's the one thing that I don't think Hank really touched on when he did it in his video, is that it's not abnormal for there to be so much cross-pollination amongst tech, because yeah, look at it this way. Look at it from Nvidia's point of view. They all need to buy chips, unless they make their own, but and Nvidia, with them investing in some of them and saying, well, you have to buy our chips. Yeah, I can see why that feels a little dubious, but this type of thing does happen in technology. It's more normal than not. I do want to point that out, but yeah, it is a big web. It's a web of a lot of money being passed around for sure. So Chad says, Larry, why not? Here we go. Anchor Tours, a good day, good people. Bill says Russia doesn't extradite. There we go. Extradite. As a bonus, you'll get a free field trip to Ukraine. Yeah, they'll even pack you a lunch in your backpack. That's for sure. Chad, Larry, why not just buy the coin? Then you can actually own the asset. Let's see here. Chad says read above. Vic is in the house. Hello, Vic. QQQ, what's your opinion on TELUS? Oh, TELUS. Good old TELUS. All right. There's been a lot. I know there's been a lot in the news lately on TELUS. One of them is with the latest dividend increase that they can't afford it. And yeah, currently, if you look at the market right now, TELUS is not. I don't think they can afford it. I don't think they can afford it. But, and here's the but, and I mentioned this before, we are anticipating a lot of movement within that sector to the upside. Like things are starting to get better for telecommunications. They have, for one, they're done. They're done with all of that 5G rollout. So all of the rural stuff is pretty much done. That's freeing up cash flow. So situations are going to improve. Now, here's going to be the big question. Even though right now I say, TELUS can't really, that dividend is not sustainable. Will it be sustainable once that cash flow, once everything stabilizes with that? That's a good question. I don't have an answer. I would certainly like to deep dive them probably early in the new year to get a good idea of where things are going. And I also talked about dividend cut. Now I know the chances of them actually cutting their dividend right now are not great, but if it makes sense, I would say do it. That's what Bell did. And it made sense. Yeah, they lost some people were like, I'm out of here. Some investors are like that. They're like, you cutting the dividend, I'm running. Sometimes you have to take some short-term pain for long-term stability, not gain, but stability. The gain will come even later. And I think TELUS is in that same boat. Now, believe it or not, I hate to say this, of the three companies, I think Rogers might be in the position, I think, to do the best in 2026. But I think there will be improvements across the board in our telecommunications sector. All right, Larry. Let's see. Oh, because of discrimination from buying digital currencies, and I can borrow margin on top of that. Transparency. Easier for my board to keep track when we only use one bank account and Fidelity. Yeah, exactly. And keep in mind, when you're doing this here as an investment fund, you're dealing with a whole bunch of different people's money. Sometimes all of the custody, hardware wallets, all of that, it kind of mucks up the whole the whole idea. Because and I imagine with Larry's fund, having the ability to move things fast are probably important, because Larry does a lot of good swing trading, and sometimes with good swing trading, an opportunity just arises because you got a giant spike in the price for some reason or another, and sometimes you got to jump on it really quickly. So, and if you've got a situation where you get that with a crypto coin, with a coin, you've got to move it. There's a whole bunch of extra steps in there. So I would think it would be almost impractical. But that's my thoughts. That's my thoughts. Larry, definitely feel free to drop in your thoughts. Let's see. Rory says NPI is still going downward. Almost looks like a swing. Northland Power. So we'll get back here to Nvidia right now. They have come back a little bit, so we're sitting at 191.40. But let's take a look at NPI here for a moment. Here we go. All right, NPI, Northland Power. Here we go. Well, they had a little bit of movement towards the end of the day, but I'm going to pull up. I'll pull up the year, and you can sort of see. This is a scary drop. A scary drop. However, yeah, there's no saving it. It is a scary drop. I do like Northland Power. I like utilities in general. They've come down a little bit since they dropped, but honestly, and I guess I really have to bring this back. Yeah, we'll bring this back here to a month. Yeah, they've come down a little bit. I can't see them coming down a lot more, though, to be honest. I think right now, yeah, if you're looking for a swing, I think you're in a good position. Or if you're looking just to get in for long term, I think that'll be fine. I think that would be fine with this one for sure. Let's see. CC, Amazon just borrowed $15 billion with bonds for AI infrastructure. Okay, there we go. So this kind of goes against that article that we were just looking at, saying that they weren't investing in a lot of debt. But keep in mind, depending on looking at debt to equity ratio, and I don't know what the debt to equity ratio is of Amazon. Let's find out. Actually, you know what? Let's head over here. All right. AMZN. Amazon. All right. This is what I'm curious to know. I'm curious to know. Let's come down here. All right, here we go. Whoops. Where is here it is. All right. So yeah, let's take a look here. So yeah, their debt to equity ratio, and this is not bad. 43.40%. So that's not bad. They have room. Amazon can take out a bunch more debt if they want to. And I think that's the whole thing. I think what the article is kind of getting at is that, once you go above 100%, that's when you start getting into more issues. But yeah, like this is Amazon. Let's look at Nvidia. Let's look at Nvidia. I'm kind of curious. NVDA. All right. I'd like to see this small, because with the amount of money they've pulled in, I'm hoping they're not going too bad. And yeah, look, 10.58% right here. So that's pretty darn small. So yeah, and that's kind of where they've been going with, and that's fine. That's fine. All right, Chad, I wish I never have bought any telecoms. Bell and Telus are my biggest losers. Can't wait until green, then gone out of your portfolio. Yeah, I know that you're not a huge fan. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of them. I mean, you're not going to get rich, I think, on telecoms, but for me, I would prefer to get my access on the telecoms through more of a broad ETF. Like something like Canny. I think Canny has might have TELUS in there, but all right. Larry says banks here will still restrict and kick you out for being into digital currency, even though Trump did an executive order on it. Ah, interesting. And in all fairness, it wasn't that long ago that I heard somebody say their bank was giving them a lot of grief over Bitcoin or something like that. So I think there's still a lot of prejudice within banks towards crypto. I think there's still a lot of prejudice out there, even in Canada. Let's see. Paul says TELUS down 11.67% in the last month. Dividend now 8.3%. Yeah. And that is something to keep in mind too, because they're down so much. That dividend does appear to be a lot bigger. If they hadn't gone down 11.67% in that last month, that dividend would be that'd be closer to what 6 point something percent. So it is something to think about. Cowboy heard Jamie Dimon trashed TELUS, causing a dip in share price. Thinks he's Trump. Oh boy, maybe. Let's see, dividend not sustainable at TELUS. Currently not. Currently it's not. And here, let's see what we can see. Let's take a look at the latest data here. All right, let's see. We'll do T.to. All right, here we go. So we're looking here at TELUS. And here's one of the, let me show you some showing things here. Look at this. Total debt to equity, 171.49%. That's pretty high. That's pretty high. I'll tell you, Rogers is bigger because of because of them buying Shaw. But when we go over here, let's go into their statistics. And we're going to come down here. Here is their payout ratio. And this is on that dividend. 209.90%. That is not sustainable. That's nowhere even close to being sustainable. So yeah, you're 100% right, Rory. Banks were, Larry, let's see, wow. And let's see, I hope we don't have a Enron scandal with the tech sectors. I don't think we will. I really don't. Larry says, I had an issue opening an account because I bought Hot 8 for 79 to 120 and sold for 380, 425. Had to go through several people to get approval. Oh boy. All right. Banks in the USA use Robinhood. Cowboy, I'm concentrated on EIT at the moment. I know there are 100 others, but I like Canoe. I like Canoe too. I mean, Canoe is boring. But it does its job. You know what you're going to get through thick and thin. It doesn't matter what the market does. Canoe has just been so reliable for so long. That's what you're getting with Canoe. So yeah, it is stability. It is stability. Larry says can't open business accounts with Robinhood. All right. Okay then. That a bit of a problem. Scott's old timey channel. A lot of companies can actually use AI through the use of chatbot agents for customer support. Yeah, yeah. I mean, AI, it's not going away. Here's the thing, and I don't know if people get a grasp of how much AI has become integrated into a lot of things. A lot of companies are using AI like crazy. Um, and I will tell you right now, I would rather talk to an AI chatbot than a real person if I'm calling in with an issue with a company, only because that AI chatbot knows everything. It knows every rule. It knows everything it can do for me that human agent may not. I mean, sometimes with a human agent, it's hit and miss. You might get a good one, or you might get one who's first week on the job and they really don't know what they can do for you. Or you get those agents who just don't care what they can do for you. They just want to get rid of you because they'd rather do something else. To me, that's kind of an interesting thing. And I have a feeling like call centers are going to be that one area where I think AI is going to dominate really, really big time. And that's fantastic. If you think about it, here's the beautiful thing. How many times have you called a call center and had a language problem with whoever you're talking to? Maybe you called and maybe your language is different than that person's, or maybe their language is different than you. There's always communication issues. But with AI, so if, let's say, for example, if you're from India, if you call a call center and you get one of these AI agents, it'll be able to talk to you in perfect Punjabi, that's how you say it, I believe. Or if you're from Ireland and you speak Gaelic, maybe maybe the AI can speak Gaelic too. I actually heard there's only a few languages on the planet that AI haven't yet been able to figure out, and I think most of the languages that they've been having the hardest time with translation are actually some of the Nunavut languages, some of the native languages. There's a few of them that are just really hard. But yeah, but that's the thing. To me, that's fantastic. That means I don't have to listen through somebody who I just can't understand. I will do my best, and I don't mind doing my best. But sometimes, my mom, for example, my mom's that type of person that she probably would hang up if she can't understand what somebody's trying to say. But I think that's where AI will really dominate, at least in that area. Now, of course, if you work in a call center, well, your days are probably numbered. Unless, of course, you can do some kind of support for the AI, perhaps. I don't know. All right, let's see. And Chad just thinks that chatbots are junk. We got JJ in for the Nvidia earnings, and let's take a peek. We have not looked at Nvidia here in what, 5 minutes? So yeah, look, they're still sitting here up at 192.78 above. We're still waiting for some official numbers here. We don't have them yet, but the estimate for earnings is 1.256, and the estimate for their revenue is 54.91 billion. So we'll have to see how that looks. But right over here, Routers is telling us that Nvidia is gaining on fiscal Q4 outlook above estimates. So it looks like we may be getting some pretty good some numbers. I think we're going to get some good numbers here. Let's see here. According to Quatar, and we'll pull this up here. So yeah, Q3 revenue and net income soared on AI demand with record data center growth and strong outlook. This is good. So far, the initial pieces of information that we're seeing are looking pretty darn good. They're looking good. We're sitting here above here, but until we see those official numbers, we're not going to know how good they are. But let me ask, are any of you guys making a play? Are any of you swinging this earnings call? Kind of curious to know. All right. Rory said, watch the big red yardstick hit. Let's see. TEHE, TELUS Harvest now 15% yield, down 14.4 in the last month. There is that, yeah, 25%. That's, I mean, that leverage is a double-edged sword, right? So when you're going up, yeah, you're getting a lot of extra, but at the same time, when you're going down, it's the same thing. You are going down a little bit harder, of course. Oh, by the way, guys, I did that interview yesterday with Evolve, with the Evolve CEO. So that's going to be dropping on Friday. You'll be able to see that on Friday. Amrit says, this post-market jump is this still speculation on Nvidia? So it's not so much speculation per se. There have been some good news coming out. We're seeing some good news articles so far. But we're still waiting. We're still waiting to see the exact numbers. But so far, investors are responding well. Once we get these numbers, and we'll get them soon enough. And guys, and this normally happens on these calls, or let's say not calls, but on this show, it normally happens that you guys get the numbers from other sources before TradingView gets them. So, if you've got the numbers, drop them in the chat. I have a feeling we're going to exceed. I have a good feeling. All right, let's see here. Paul says Tesla up 3.51 in after hours. Is really? Let's take a gander at Tesla here. Yeah, they're up a little bit. So yeah, Tesla closed at 404. They're up at 406. All right, we'll get back to Nvidia though. Tesla, you're the warm-up act. You're not the main show. All right, Cowboy said, sorry, Candace, my internet crashed. Missed your comments on Watergate. Yeah, in regards to the individual who wrote that article in Watergate, I don't have a clue about that. That was basically all I said, is that I hadn't heard anything in regards to that. So I don't really have a comment on that because I don't know. All right, let's see. Good afternoon, everyone. I blame the Superstore for being late. Pork chops were on sale, so barbecue night it is. Awesome. You know what? That's a good excuse for being late, for sure. All right. From Bloomberg. All right. Okay. We got some data. We've got some data. So let's take a look here. And I'm going to pull up. Let's pull up what we were expecting here. So their estimate was 1.256. Bloomberg is saying it's coming in at 1.30. So they exceeded. And their estimate was 54.91 billion. And it looks like it's coming in, according to Bill, according to Bloomberg, 57.01. So they have exceeded. This is going to be a green. This is turning green. This is why they're sitting up there above. This is fantastic. This is good news, guys. So those of you who sold QQQ because you were worried that this was going to be down, no, maybe you shouldn't have. Maybe you shouldn't have. It's up to you guys, though, right? But yeah, this is really good. I am liking what I'm hearing here. All right. Bill says for the fourth quarter, Nvidia projects revenue of 65 billion plus or minus 2%. Wall Street was expected revenue of 62 billion. Nice. That is very good. And yeah, this sums it up. Bill says a nice beats and a big upgrade in guidance. Yeah, this is what we wanted. Guys, this is, how we have best case and worst case scenarios. This is feeling a lot more like a best case scenario. We're doing it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I'm liking it. I am liking it. Jim says, did anyone else see that barge by Bella Bella that is sinking? I didn't know there was a barge that was sinking, but no, I know nothing about that. This is the first time I've heard of it. Nvidia EPS 130 versus last quarter 105, a 24% increase. Nice. Nice. Yeah. So anybody who did make an Nvidia play today, it looks like it's going to be successful. It's looking that way for now. Oh gosh, that's so good, guys. Larry says one single account is easier to do fast trades. I don't believe in holding crypto on top of that. The crypto ETFs trade at a 10 to 20% price ratio discount on drops. My friends call me Bernie Madoff. Yeah, there we go. CC, Bitcoin rising in tandem with Nvidia after the news. Nice. Let's see here. Yeah, Bitcoin's back to 90,000. We're looking at 90,535. So, well, let's see. Let's see what happens. Because you got to keep in mind, too, when it comes to key supports, you can break through them. It's just you don't want to close below them. That's kind of that big thing. But yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about Bitcoin here in a moment. Pretty soon, I think. Politicians, Icon, 895% dividend. You're welcome. Icon, what is I do not even know what Icon is. Let's take a look. Icon, here we go. International Iconic Gold Expansion Company. Now there's also Icon US as well. So we got two. If it's got an 895% dividend, I can't see it being the penny stock. Let's take a look at Icon Energy here. And this is kind of almost a penny stock too, but let's take a look at this one here first and see what we got here going on. There might be this one right now, it's showing here 590.266%. That is a crazy dividend, but I mean, look at their normal price, 111. Yeah, well, they dropped a little bit, not that much. What the heck? I kind of want to see. Let's come in here and take a look. Well, they've been paying their dividend. 8 cents, 8.5, 7 cents. Very, very interesting. And I don't have very much. I've got very little data on them, but that's interesting. Interesting. It's still really, really low though. Penny stock, I get very worried about penny stock. So this is one that, yeah, 895 or 590, whatever it is, looks very inviting, but comes with a whole heaping helping of massive caution, for sure. Cowboy. NBI had a bigger drop when they announced their new CEO went to $16. She was from SNC. Okay, yeah, fair enough. That is true. Bitcoin turned to the upside 1.5 hours ago, 90.4K. Battle Bank number one. Let's see. Block's underlying stocks turned positive after hours. Customer service died with COVID. Well, yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of things that sort of lined up for sure. But yeah, a lot of customer service with COVID. A lot of it went home. Like a lot of it became much more decentralized away from central call centers. You know, and that was actually a move that had been already happening with a lot of call centers where they were building their bigger work at home agent force because, you know, get rid of the overhead. Because in the business, one of the things that call centers will call themselves is that they usually call them the cost centers because they're expensive. They're expensive to run. AI will certainly change that for sure. Amrit, for TradingView, do you look at the technical ratings for buy sell or some that have analyst ratings? I just downloaded it. I like to make up my own mind on whether I'm going to buy or sell. However, sometimes when I'm deep diving, I do like to look at what the price target that that basically the analysts come up with. So one place you can get that is actually Amazon. So if we come over here to Amazon, and currently we're looking at TELUS. So in TELUS here, so TELUS is currently $19.02. And let's see here, it should be right down here. Oh, I need to be on the main page. Sorry, we were on that page. We were looking at the payout ratio. It's actually on the front page here. So let's see here. Of course, they keep moving things on me. let's see. Now it used to, yeah, it used to be right here. I'm not seeing it. I am not seeing it. Return, revenue. Well, let's see if they moved it down here into their secondary group. Oh boy. I don't, oh, here we are. Let's see here. That's why we were on the secondary group. There we go. Sorry. Yeah, up here. So yeah, so normally they're at 1902, and here it is right here. 1 year target estimate, $23. So $23 is kind of where they're seeing that stock in about a year. I agree with this. I agree with this because, as I mentioned, 2026 is looking to be better for the telecommunications. But yeah, you can sort of see, and you can look at any, like let's say we're looking right now at Nvidia. So we'll go back to Nvidia. And so Nvidia right now, 186.52. What is their target? 234.96. Now, does that mean they're going to get there? No, it doesn't. And you also have to realize that this target is not based on today's results. This is based on the last set of results. So this will get updated. Like this target will probably be different tomorrow or the next day, depending on how fast they upgrade or they update their information over at Yahoo. All right. Rory says, SNC, yep, there's the problem. Doesn't TELUS use free cash flow to pay dividends? It looks like they borrow to pay dividends, but actually the debt is the CapEx. I would have to look a little bit different. But yeah, if we come, and let's do this. Actually, you know what? Here's another, let me show you guys another thing here. So we're going to leave, oh, that's YouTube. Let's go over here to these 9 reasons. All right. If we go to Simply, now with Simply, you can look at, what is it? I think 4 or 5 companies free a month. But if you've got multiple email addresses, you can rig it up so you can look at a whole bunch. All right, for this one here, we were looking at TELUS. So let's go, I'm just going to put in TELUS. There we go. Perfect. So with TELUS in here, if we go to the dividend, and we're going to see a couple of things in here. Whoops. Here it is. So we're going to see the 2. So this is the one that we were looking to. This is based on earnings, the payout ratio, 211%. Now, there is another way to calculate a payout ratio. And where Paul was talking about looking at the free cash flow, well, this here is part of it. So when you look at this, this is by cash flow coverage. And with cash flow coverage, it's a little better, 135%. But it's still a little bigger than the cash flow, at least according to their latest data. Now, you know, once again, I don't know when the next earnings report is for TELUS, but that might change this a little bit. We'll see. We'll see. But at the last one, 135 is their cash payout. So if they're using it by cash flow alone. All right. Politicians, language of the land grab. Doorpat. I'm sure it wouldn't ever speak any of my languages. I try several times and it can't pronounce words. Oh, I speak Igbo and Yoruba. All right. I don't know what languages those are, Doorpat. I'm so sorry. I don't think I've ever heard of Igbo or Yoruba. But cool. I now know of 2 languages I never knew of quite literally 2 minutes ago. Paul says, I use a separate bank modus for adding money to CoinSquare or Shakepay or Wealthsimple crypto in the past. Yeah, that's one way to get around it for sure. Long NVDX17 this morning, 1980 now. Oh, Larry. You know what? You played it right. You played it right. Here we go. Thank you. Thank you, Amrit. So Punjubi. All right. So punj, yeah. So punj rhymes with sponge. So punj, okay, punj-ubi. There. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot today. Hopefully I remember. But I like it. I like it. Doorpat says they reported EPS of 130 versus, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we were looking at. And heading back over there, see how things are going. We got it now. We got our green. Here's our green as expected. So they beat earnings by 3.52%, and they beat revenue by 3.82%. So fantastic. This will stay in the blue. It'll stay above for sure. And we'll probably see it might even go up higher in the morning when we get the morning folks coming in. So yeah, if you did make a play today, Larry did. Larry made a long. Yeah, I think it's going to work out for you. I think it's going to work out for you. That's what it's looking at right now. And holy great Chala says NVHE, dividend producer and a bonus for holding. Nice. Muggsy says Nvidia EPS of 130 beating expectations. Yeah. And yeah, that's exactly what we're getting. That's exactly what we're seeing. We got all the data. It's a happy ending this time. So I can't wait. Scott's old-timey channel. We'll be watching that Evolve interview. Bank has been good to me. And I think Bank actually comes up in the interview at least once, at least maybe twice or 3 times. But it is mentioned for sure. Actually, guys, going back to this, you guys know I'm pretty hyped about 6E. Well, there's another new one coming out too. You'll have to check out the video to find out what it is, but I did not know about it until Raj told me about it in the interview. So, politicians says will open much higher tomorrow than gradually drop. Yes, that typically is that thing. So one of the things that I like to do in situations when I'm playing a earnings call is I usually will get in there. I will usually drop in a stop loss right away, and then try to ride it up, maybe adjust that loss. But and there's actually no qualms either if you just jump in and sell in the morning. You're taking profits, so nothing wrong with taking profits. Paul and Perry did a new video. Okay. And let's see, Doorpat revenue. Yeah, ups. Yeah, exactly. Vic says, hi, Candace. Hi, Vic. How are you? Summit Man, thanks to be live for Nvidia results. Yeah, and it's a happy story. It's a happy story this time. I like it. I like it. All right, and there's our weird emoticon again. Paul says, the only Nvidia I have is in Blocks ETF that has Nvidia and others that are all up in after hours, after all day being down. And politicians, Icon Energy. Ian says, I was having a nap and missed the close. Uh-oh, no AI bubble. Naps are good. Yes, they are. Bismarcky, I buy Utes instead of the telecoms. And actually, Utes comes up in the interview as well, Bismarcky, just so you know. Rory, sitting in Lazy Boy, eyes getting heavy. You're getting sleepy, Rory. Getting sleepy. Your hands are moving towards the super chat. No, I'm kidding, Rory. Ian says, look at the 6-month on ENCL. Time to sell. Every time I do this, it breaks out. Sure, let's pull up ENCL and take a look at the 6-month. All right. Here we go. Wow. I might have to reload this. Let's just go into resources, TMX. There we go. ENCL. And we're going to the 6 months here. All right. 6 month right here. So let me so let me guess. You did you sell down here and then it went up? Is that kind of what happened, Ian? Yeah, ENCL. I'm happy with it right now. Like quite literally, I don't see oil doing a lot, at least initially. Now, depending on the type of winter that we experience, and not just here, but worldwide. So we're looking at Europe, Asia, North America as well. That could certainly help the price of oil for sure. OPEC seems to think that there's going to be a big spike in demand. So that's one of the reasons, one of their arguments for increasing production. So it'll be interesting to see. We could be looking at, if they're right, it'll be very good for the price of oil. All right. Let's see. Analysts are always bulls. Take their targets with a grain of salt. We always have to. Yeah. I mean, you have to always make up your own mind. That's one of the reasons I sort of say, if you're going to make a gamble, gamble with something that has good fundamentals, because then long term, you're probably going to be okay. But yeah, a lot of times I do find well, it depends. I've seen situations where they're not bullish enough on their predictions, but for the most part, yeah, they do tend to be a little bullish. Let's see. Nvidia up 3.88% after markets. Be a green day tomorrow. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's going to be big for tech. The Nasdaq is going to have a good day tomorrow. Tim said I bought the dip on MSTE. Okay. All right. Amrit, very excited about 60. Curious about the other one. When's that Evolve interview being posted? Friday. Now, if you are a channel member, you'll be able to watch it tomorrow afternoon. But for everybody else, it will be available on Friday. Anchor Tours says, with the promising returns of Bank, which I own as well, how much better could 60 be? Might it be fairly close in results? Yes, I think it will be fairly close. The big difference, I think, is going to be one, you're not going to have some of that extra volatility that might come out of the insurance, because this one does not have the insurance companies. And two, you are looking at a more frequent payout. So, if you like getting paid twice a month, that's what 60 is going to do for you as well, because it's what do they call it? I know I was corrected yesterday. I think I was calling it bi-monthly or something, and it's not bi-monthly. It's I can't remember now, but yeah, it's twice a month. We'll just call it twice a month. Brian says Palantir had an earnings surprise of 25.4% on their earnings call November 3rd. So naturally, they are down 15% since then. Wait for a few days to see if Nvidia drops later. Yeah, they could. I mean, the hysteria, but the hype that comes from an earnings call, sometimes it's short-lived. So, like I've said before, there's two ways to play an earnings call. If you want to, if you're certain that it's probably going to have a good call, you can invest ahead of time, ride it up and sell. The other way is if you think it's going to have a bad call, is you can wait for it to fall and then buy at the bottom and ride that back up as it comes in. Now, normally, as long as it's got good fundamentals, that typically does happen. Not always, but typically. One example right now is Meta. Meta's been struggling a little bit lately, so they have not yet fully recovered from their last earnings call. But tomorrow could be an interesting day for Meta too, because this is one of these waves that all of tech will probably benefit from to some extent. Brian says, that was a positive surprise and higher guidance issued as well. Yeah, absolutely. I like that. I like that a lot. And very quickly, jumping in here, we do have a super coming in from Paul, a $1 super sticker. And guys, that means I get, whoops, there we go. That means I get to break out the GOAT video for Paul. Awesome. Love it. All right. Now, guys, these GOAT videos might be, they might be only here for a limited time, because as you guys may or may not know, I'm switching over to OBS in December. So that's getting pretty darn close. And I don't know yet how to set up a video like that, but I'll figure it out. For sure. All right. So that was Paul. And that, guys, does mean that we are 3 away from a Friday show, if that's something you guys want to see. All right. And let's see here. Paul says, from Quest Trade, tune in on November 19th at 6 p.m. Eastern for our biggest product showcase of the year, where everything we've been building to help you reach new heights will take center stage. Over on Quest Trade. Interesting. Oh, guys, I'm going to drop something in here. Just give me a second here. All right. I am dropping right now. This is my Wealthsimple affiliate link. So if you've not yet tried Wealthsimple and you're looking for a broker, this is definitely worth trying. Right now, there's a lot going on. One of the beautiful things is with that link, you guys get $25 after you fund your account. I get $25 for the channel, which is fantastic. But they've got a contest on. It's going until December 5th, where pretty much everything you do gives you tickets. I'll call it tickets, but basically you get your name put into a draw. So if you sign up with that link I gave you, I believe you get 20,000 of these. And then you also get, for every dollar that you put on the platform, I think you also get one. So it's big numbers, guys. But yeah, they're going to be giving away some gold. I don't know exactly how much. I probably should look that up, but they do have a big gold giveaway going on. So if you've been thinking about trying out the Wealthsimple, this might be the time. This might be the time. All right. Paul says, sorry, Paul. CC says, Netflix had fantastic news and guidance spring 2024, dive 7% overnight, first time, last time player. That can happen. Absolutely. You know, there's a chance. I don't think it's going to happen this time with Nvidia, but there's a chance the people in the morning could just be like, nope, we're not biting, and then sell off. Yeah, that could happen. It probably won't, but it could. That's kind of that thing. So yeah, absolutely. I've seen some really strange stuff before. Ian says, I still own ENCL. I sold MFC a few years ago before they broke out. Oh, no. All right. Paul says, mean reversion is your enemy of holding. Hope it improves Biggie. I do like Biggie, that's for sure. Scotty's old-timey channel. Sold out of ENCL long ago. For oil, I have IPO.to and CNQ. I got a question, Scott. Scott, got a question. What is Scott's old-timey channel? Do you have a YouTube channel? Do you play old-timey content, like nostalgic stuff? Is that what you do? I'm just curious. I'm curious. I'm looking at the name and I keep thinking, what is Scott doing over there on the old-timey channel? Paul, when is the HBTE in CAD versus blocks in USD video coming? Good question. I don't have it planned yet, but it's not a bad idea. It's not a it's a good idea. It's a good idea phase. Yeah, it is. It's definitely. I will say one thing, guys. I'm gonna say let's just say this right now. One of the things that I have always struggled with on the channel is anytime I touch US stuff, it does badly. It does really badly until now. So the last US content piece I did, basically it was that dividend on US income stocks or income ETFs. It did fantastic. It actually did it well. I went into that expecting about 1,500 views. I figured about 1,500 views is probably where that was going to cap out. But let me tell you, it did better than that. It did. Last time I looked, it was around 6,500. So I was like happy. I'm happy. So yeah, we'll definitely see a little more. I'll throw a little more US content in here and there. So because you guys that was fantastic. I liked it anyway. Amrit says Palantir think dropped also because of Michael Burry as well, but let's hope Nvidia doesn't drop. You know, I keep expecting people to finally wise up to Michael Burry. How many times can he be wrong? How many times can he be wrong before people are like, let's not take him seriously? So yeah, let's not take him seriously. You know, Michael Burry says something, I'm just like, oh yeah. What's he saying this time? And I kind of want to do the opposite. So kind of like Jim Cramer. He's like, him and Jim Cramer should start a company together. see See how fast they can run it into the ground. Paul says, Nvidia up 5.37 now. Oh, have they moved more? Oh, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, look at them up here, 197.48. So yeah, that's not too shabby. All right. Larry says, strategy I'm debating getting into, but I don't understand how they're leveraged or what's their average. Yeah, strategy is kind of one of those ones where they're hard to predict what exactly they're going to do because, yeah, I mean, sure, you've got the price movement of Bitcoin and they own a lot of Bitcoin. So that certainly is some big upward pressure. But at the same time, Michael Saylor might just start, he just might start printing more shares. They do dilute from time to time to generate funds to buy more Bitcoin. In the long term, I think strategy is probably going to be, well, worth a lot, but it could be painful getting there. And I think a few people in here have felt that pain big time recently. Oh, guys, we got another one. A door pat in with a $2 super sticker, meaning we've got more goats in the corral. We're halfway. We are halfway to a Friday show. So that's fantastic. And not to be outdone, but the great old Mary, our official captain of the like button, is dropping a 149 super sticker. And that, well, that is that's our third goat. That's our third goat. That corral is, well, get another goat in there and we can close the gate. So, before the three in there run away, for sure. All right, there we go. This is fantastic. Semi-monthly. I thought, that's what I think I was calling it, but I think, anyway, watch the video, watch the interview. Raj had a different word, yeah, I think, yeah, no, maybe it was semi-monthly, and I called it bi-monthly. Yeah, anyway, he corrected me, and I deserved it for sure. Isaiah, so it's 1 kilogram. Okay, so that's what they're giving away on the Wealthsimple, 1 kilogram of gold. So, like I said, if you're looking for a broker, now's the time to test the waters out with Wealthsimple. Maybe you'll win. Maybe you'll win. Maybe I'll win. I don't know. That would be fantastic, but I'm not that lucky. And that probably works in your favor. Plus 1 ounce rounds. Okay. All right, let's see here. Amrit, wish Wealthsimple had a proper stop loss. When it's a target, it just tries to sell at that time. Just can't set up a target so you can get some extra profits. Yeah, I would love to see that. And I would also like to see Wealthsimple. I'd love to see a trailing stop loss with them. Oh boy, that would be really cool. Ian says, holy crap, I'm green today. Probably still going into a bear market with all the uncertainty down south. And let's see, Scott says, yes, I've had a YouTube channel since June 2005. Nice, hence old-timey. All right. Now I do have to check out your channel. I just want to know what it is. Paul says, waiting for the 469 and 46 cents Tesla. Got my limit order in to catch on a spike. Well, let's hope so. Let's see. Scott says, what always comes to mind when I think of the market? A person is smart, people are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. Agent K from Men in Black. It's kind of true. It is kind of true. And that's the thing. So it's, group mentality. When you you look at the movements on the chart, it's not always that the company is doing bad if it's going down. Sometimes it's just that investors are having an emotional reaction to one thing or another. So, it's an interesting animal. You kind of have to divorce yourself from it a little bit. But yeah, absolutely. Men in Black. I like it. All right. Amrit says bi-weekly. Well, technically no, because it's twice a month, right? So semi-monthly is, I think, the word. Paul got it right. Because, yeah, with a semi-monthly, meaning you're getting it twice a month, that's completely different than bi-weekly or, because bi-weekly basically means every second week, which would be, well, yeah, exactly what Brian just said. 24 dividends a year, not 26. So, yeah, and that's, yeah, the nomenclature. It'll be fun. You'll get to see. I make the mistake. In the interview, and Raj corrects me. Like I said, I deserve to be corrected. I liked it. I have this thing. I love making mistakes. And that probably sounds really weird, but the only reason I love making mistakes is that it usually leads to a learning opportunity. Now, what I like to do, though, is I don't like to make the same mistake twice. Because if I make the same mistake twice, that means I didn't learn from the first mistake. So I have no problem making a mistake, and then I'll find a way to make a brand new spanking mistake. A totally different mistake. But yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Cowboy, buying time when the panic is in full gear. Paul says IREN up 12.5, HUD up 8.5, CIFR up 17, BITF up 10.4, CRWV up 10.5 in after hours. Talk about volatility. Yeah. Yeah. And even now, like, guys, so right now we got Nvidia up quite a bit. So let's see here. We also got Tesla. Tesla's up a little bit. Here's Meta. Look at this. Meta's up about $7 in the after hours. And that's what I was saying. I was saying it was probably going to be a good day for Meta. I got Google down here as well. Google's also up. So we can already see in technology, we're seeing a lot of companies up in the after hours. And that makes perfect sense. All right, guys, we're at about an hour and a half. So we are one away, or one super or one gifted sub from a Friday show. I'll give you guys a couple minutes in case somebody wants to pull out and be the hero and pull together a show. In the meantime, guys, just to let you know what's coming up on the channel, of course, I am so excited for this interview. It is coming up on Friday, or if you're a channel member, you'll be able to see that tomorrow afternoon. Also, tomorrow afternoon, Adriano from Passive Income, from the Passive Income channel, he is going to have another one of those pioneers of passive income tomorrow afternoon. I will be on that one, and I don't know, I think he's doing it live. But that one will be at 1:30 p.m. So Eastern Standard Time tomorrow afternoon. So, but the replay will be available as well, and I will drop a link. If you can't make it for that one, I'll drop a link on the Discord and also the Facebook group. That way, there you can check it out at a later time if you want to check that one out. And considering how well that live stream I did when I brought Adriano over did, I have a feeling many of you probably do want to check that out for sure. All right, and guys, Friday show. It's now a reality. Scratch came in and saved the day. The hero of the gate corral, and also our final goat. So we got our goats in the corral. The door is slammed, and well, we'll be back here on Friday, and of course I'll be live tomorrow with Adriano. So that's going to be all fantastic. All right. Whew, guys, this has been another fantastic show. And we'll be back as well on the weekend. So Sunday, we'll have another episode of this week. It's going to be fantastic. I love it. All right. Now, I just see one thing here. I want to just quickly grab this. Speaking of Google, is everyone here aware of CDRs? So yeah, guys, CDRs are a great way to get exposure to a lot of your US stocks. And, well, also, I think the BMO has come out with some CDRs. So CIBC has most of the American ones. BMO has a whole bunch of European ones. But yeah, if you want, basically stands for Certificate of Depository Receipt. If you want exposure without having to deal with, well, without having to deal with currency And a lot of times as well, these are broken up into smaller chunks. So it's like buying a fractional share, and you still get the dividends and everything else. You get all the benefits of holding the real one without any of the currency, well, the currency exchange problems. Some people don't. Some people like that. I like them because they're nice and simple. When I do swings, I tend to use the CDRs because a lot of times I can get smaller pieces, meaning I can buy more and I can turn my profits a little bit bigger in those cases. But yeah, CDRs are fantastic. All right, guys. Whew. Another show in the bag. Let's land this airplane. Let's head down to the what is that, the baggage carousel. So anyway, guys, I will see you guys. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow if you guys are checking out the Pioneers of Passive Income show. I believe it's on Adriano's channel. Yeah, until then, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys again soon.